Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do my comparison on two shoes that are really popular right at the moment. It's the Adidas Evo SL and the other one is the ASICS Superblast 2. Before I get into my review, if you like my stuff, please press the like button, drop a comment, tell us about your shoes and what you like, etc., what you don't like. I'll definitely respond. And also, if you haven't, please subscribe. That would be really appreciated. So here we go. First of all, I'll just very quickly run through the specs of both shoes. Okay, with the Evo SL, we've got 38 in the heel, down to 32 in the forefoot, with a 6mm drop. You've got the full Light Strike Pro running through. It's an engineered mesh upper, pretty breathable, which is really good. The tongue's pretty flimsy, typical Adidas, not much to it. It's a race tongue, it's not gusseted, but it does its job. You can pull it up and it does its job. Heel counter, pretty sturdy, which is pretty good. Fair bit of padding around through the heel counter as well. Ankle collar is a little bit loose, but it works okay, so it's not too bad. Outsole, obviously, as you've seen on mine, trashed Conti rubber on the forefoot, with just they're calling it rubber compound on the rear, which is held up pretty well, to be honest. And then obviously the exposed foam through the midsole, which mine's done really well. It hasn't really had too many issues at all. The only issue that I've obviously had is with the forefoot. That said, you know what, it hasn't really affected the ride at all. I went out this morning and did 20 in it this morning, 20 kilometres in it, and it was pretty heavy torrential rain here on the Gold Coast. No durability problems, no slippage. So you know what, the Continental still works okay. I think the Light Strike Pros, as it's a really grippy sort of a midsole, that gives me pretty good traction anyway. So yeah, it's fine. Moving on to the Superblast 2, we've got 46 in the rear, down to 38 in the forefoot, with an 8mm drop. Again, it's an engineered mesh, really breathable there as well. The heel counter, again, it's a pretty similar, very solid heel counter, lots of padding again on the inside. The tongue is gusseted, very thin like the Adidas, but it's a better tongue than the Adidas. That's basically it. Obviously, with the midsole compound, it's the Flight Foam Turbo Plus, which is their race compound, with a carrier foam underneath, which is the, let me get to it, I'll remember in a second. It's the Flight Foam Blast Plus. That just basically stabilises the ride and probably gives a bit more durability. Outsole, it's a pretty good compound. It's the AHA compound, what they use. Really durable. It's a pretty good setup. I don't slip whatsoever in this. These ones, they've got pretty good traction. You could probably take one on light trail as well. It wouldn't be an issue. I'm a heel striker, so I've got a bit of degradation in the heel. Hasn't gone through the midsole. No performance issues whatsoever on both of these shoes. I've got about 450 Ks on both. I've only had the Superblast for probably about 6 weeks, so I've used this extensively, whereas I've had this one a little bit longer. But you know, I've tested them both really well, so I've got plenty of Ks on it. I suspect with the outsole here, I'm probably going to get another couple of hundred. That said, the midsole, the Light Strike Pro, awesome compound. I can't see that giving up for quite a while. I'd say I could get probably another 300-400 out of it. Whereas with the Superblast, again, you know, I would expect to get 800 plus out of this. I'm in pretty heavy training at the moment. I'm doing about 120 Ks a week with my marathon training. The only thing I didn't say, obviously, with this one here, the Adidas, it's 240 retail, and the Superblast 320. Weight-wise, I can't really remember exactly. Look, they're both relatively light shoes. I'm a US 11.5, both under 300 grams, so look, this one here, it's a pretty wide base. The first few times I wore it, I definitely felt that it was a big shoe. You get used to it pretty quickly, whereas the Adidas, it's not as wide, pretty narrow in the rear. Look, can be a little bit unstable. If you're probably new at running, I probably wouldn't recommend it. I'm pretty experienced, so there's a little bit of wobble in the heel, but it's fine. So, look, how can I compare these two shoes? You know, a lot of people out there are saying, oh, they're very, very similar. They do have some similarities. Obviously, 6mm, 8mm drop. I personally feel you can notice the drop difference. I think the transition is probably a little bit smoother with the higher drop here to this one here. Definitely this one's a lot more aggressive. It really pushes you forward onto your toes. It wants to go fast. There's no ifs and buts. It wants to go fast. I remember when I first got it, I hated going slow on it. It was just awful, whereas now I'm used to it a lot more now. So it's okay at slow paces. It's definitely better at fast paces, but it's still okay at slower paces. Going on to the Superblast, you know, it can do it all. It can go slow, it can go faster. It's not an out-and-out speed shoe, as we know. Definitely the Adidas is quicker there, but you can definitely pick up the pace. Look, I've done some pretty good paces in it. I feel that you can, you know, you definitely couldn't get real fast in it and maintain those paces. But I think because it's so light, it's pretty good. So, what would I recommend both for? You know, the Superblast, everything, absolutely everything. You know, some people say, oh, you wouldn't take it over 5Ks. Bullshit. I've taken it over 5Ks, no problems, up to the marathon. You take it on trails, anything, absolutely anything. Whereas this one here, obviously, again, it's a speed shoe. So 5Ks, probably up to half. Look, for me, I've ran a shitload of up to halves in this. Would I take it further than that? No, I wouldn't. It's a bit uncomfortable after a while because it's a bit narrow. It becomes a little bit uncomfortable for me. That's my opinion for me. Some people say they could take it up to the marathon. Good luck taking it to the marathon. I think it's a bit uncomfortable for a marathon, but probably this one, yeah, any distance you want. This one probably up to a half. Comparing the two shoes, yes, there is some definite similarities, but overall, for me, one's a speed shoe, one's an everyday, one's a long run shoe. That you can't completely compare them and say, oh, they're the same, because they're not the fucking same shoe. They're different shoe. Do I have a preference? Absolutely. Best shoe that I've ever owned, without a doubt. I would recommend this one in a heartbeat. I know that the price is a bit expensive. Look, probably $80 difference. It's a bit of money difference. I understand that, but if you want a shoe that does everything, pick this every day of the week. If you want a speed shoe or something that, you know, you like the lifestyle, and you can cruise in it up to probably maybe 12 kilometers. If I was cruising in it, I wouldn't want to go much more than 10, 12 kilometers. So for me, without a doubt, this shoe here is the better shoe for me. But also, this is a fantastic shoe. What would be the shoe of the year? I know that this was probably last year, and they're saying this is this year. I still think this is definitely the better shoe out of both. So that's about it for me, guys. Thanks for looking at the video. Drop us a comment. Yeah, I'll definitely get back to you. Like the video if you like the video, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Cheers.